What is going on, everyone? James here. In today's video we are going to be taking a look at this CO2 Optimat set by Tetra, and we're going to be hooking it up to the aquarium just to my left shoulder there. I set up the aquarium about 2.5-3 weeks ago now, and yeah, I said I was going to hook up a CO2 kit to it. It's one I got sent from Tetra to try out, so I thought why not give it a go on this aquarium. So without further ado, let's get to it. Alright guys, here's the kit, and you've probably seen this aquarium which was recently set up on my YouTube channel, and yeah, plants are doing really well in there, but I thought we could use a little bit of CO2 to kickstart the aquarium really. So I'm really interested to see how this set goes. So let's take a look inside. So opening the box, it's a cardboard one, so I guess good for the environment. So you get this little instruction guide here, so it tells you what it is. It's one of those kind of solution sets that is disposable after you're finished with it. It's like a compressed can as far as I'm aware. It's kind of like the ones you get from Tropica, I think it is, that do a similar type one. But yes, here's the kit. It's really light, so I'm assuming that you have to do something with it, which I will have a look at the instructions. You get a diffuser, which is massive. It's gonna look ridiculous in there, and you get an inlet pipe there. So yeah, let's take a look at the instructions then. So let's see what we need to do. So the instructions come in a load of different languages here, and here we go, instructions for use. From the manual, it looks like this kit is one that you manually dose yourself every day. So you come up to the little can here and you give it one spray every day, and that diffuses the CO2. So let's get the little kit hooked up and put into the aquarium. Right, here's the bottle. Yep, just a pipe goes on the back here. You get quite a long pipe with it, and this is the tube. But you've got to have the membrane facing upwards. It says in the manual between 5 and 15 centimeters below the water surface. So it's going to be a bit of an eyesore in the back of this aquarium. I'm thinking about putting it near the heater there, as it's a bit of an ugly side anyway, so it won't make much of a difference. So yeah, let's put it in the tank. So according to my massive ruler here, we are about 5 centimeters away from the surface, give or take, so should be good to go. As I said, it's a bit of an eyesore, I won't lie, but I mean, if it makes the plants grow and it covers the ugly bit on the right hand side, then so be it. I'm happy with that. Let's give it a go. So I'm told that all you need to do is give this one squirt, and that should be enough for the day. The manual says if you want really lush plants to squirt twice a day. If you want moderate growth, then just do the one spray. So I want this to be very lush and lovely, so I'm going to be doing 2 pumps every day on this tank. So the manual says when you spray, the water in this little container here should slowly move out. You should see more air, and then as the CO2 diffuses out of the top, the water level should rise again, so you know that you need to respray. How I'm going to do this to show you completely, but I will spray here and hopefully you can see on here what we're doing and see if it works. There you go. So probably a bit more than what I should have, but you can see it right there. So I'm not sure how long it takes for it to start diffusing, so we'll give it a few minutes and I will come back when it starts working. Whilst we're waiting for that to diffuse, it says in the manual also that this can go up to aquariums of 130 litres, so it should be good to use for that. Doesn't really give too much detail on much else. I suppose it is a CO2 system, so there's not really too much more to give really. It also says in the manual that you should get about 50 sprays out of this one single refill can, so we shall see. I'm assuming that is based on a 1 spray per day, but if we're doing 2, then that should be less. So I take it, give or take, just under a month if you've got a heavy planted aquarium or you want quite luscious growth. I'm hoping as well is that I have a tiny little lotus plant right there that I'm hoping that this CO2 will help grow and go absolutely wild in this tank, because that is going to look amazing. All right guys, so it's been 2.5 days now, and yeah, just a bit of an update on the CO2 system. So first day basically, this thing popped out, the suction pads, and it was just at the top when I came in the next morning. So I managed to push the suckers a little bit harder onto the back of the glass there, and it seems to have stayed now. Now I've noticed that the water level, or the CO2 level, has increased there, or the water level, sorry, has increased, and there's less CO2 in there. Now it does, obviously it's working, but I haven't seen any sort of diffusion. I don't see any bubbles coming out of the top. I did have a look online at a few other videos on YouTube, but I can't see anybody that's showing the actual bubbles coming out. And also what I did notice is that most people seem to be filling up that chamber right to the bottom, as opposed to just doing it up to that line right there. So I don't know if that's the way to do it or not. It doesn't say nothing about it in the manual. So I'm going to try and fill it up this time and see if I notice any other changes. So yeah, see how it goes. But yeah, I mean, update so far. Plant growth, obviously I'm not really going to tell this early at the moment, but it's interesting. The only thing I have noticed maybe is that the plants are looking a little deeper of a red. Whether that's to do with the CO2 or not, I don't know, but it's just an interesting development, really. Just also randomly a quick update on this tank. So you'll notice I've only got 3 cherry barbs in this aquarium, and it seems like what they've been doing is taking flying lessons, because I found one on this table just a little while ago, and I noticed 2 were missing the other day. So yeah, interesting development. I might have to get a lid for this tank. Alright everyone, it's been about 2 months now since I've had the CO2 system hooked up to this aquarium, and I'd love to give you my thoughts. So how's it been going? Well, if I'm honest, not great at all. The system doesn't seem to have worked too well with the little aquarium I've got. Maybe other people have success, but for me personally, I feel like it's quite clunky. It's not visually aesthetically pleasing right there. You can see that big green sort of tube there. It's not great on the eye when you have a look at it. I know heaters aren't particularly the best things, but that thing sticks out like a sore thumb really, and I was really hoping with this system my plants would have been overgrown and overspilling this aquarium, and I've not touched it at all since I added this CO2 thing. I'll be honest with you, I haven't really done too much fertilization either. I've added it on the odd occasion that I've been here, but I haven't really religiously been adding it every few days or weeks. In terms of longevity, I mean, the can is still full. If I squirt it now, it will still have a little bit left in it. It seems like the pressure is slightly gone on it. You have to sort of push the button down quite hard now to get anything to come of it, but it's still going. So I mean, that is a great sort of perk in the sense that it does last quite a long time. Most of the other DIY CO2 kits with the powder and stuff normally last about 30 days, it says, but I mean, you probably get about 3 weeks, maybe a little bit longer depending on the size of the aquarium out of them. But yeah, I mean, that has something going for it there, I guess. Looking online, the kit itself roughly averages around the £20 mark, so the refill's about £8. If I'm honest, again, with the JBL system that I've tried out in a previous review, which is one of the powder systems, they were probably around the £30, I think they are now, mark. I mean, Brexit's obviously not helped with the price increase because it's the German company, that one. So you have got that disadvantage going for you if you were to choose the powder system over this one, but there is a few other DIY kits available. Customer service wise, I haven't really dealt with Tetra direct when I have ever had products sent to me. It's through a third-party company. They've always been very good, but I haven't really had any dealings with Tetra direct. Having said that, I haven't really needed to with this kit. I feel that there's not much they can do in terms of advising me how to use a pressurized CO2 can, especially one with just a button on it. But I'll be honest with you, I haven't really had the growth for it, and it looks like my plants, especially the leaves on the green plants there and the red ones are pretty much died off now, and the green ones have really, they go in all thin and straggly, you know, lack of nutrients and stuff like that, which again, I do fertilize and it has got root tabs in there. I just hoped with the CO2 that it would have pushed it a little bit further. Again, it is quite a new aquarium. I mean, maybe it was when it first set up, so the plants had a little bit of time to adjust to the water parameters and things, but I mean, this thing's been going for a fair few months now, so you would expect things to have picked up or at least started growing back. And compared to another aquarium that I've got set up which has nothing in it, the plants, especially the red ones, seem to be doing really well. Packaging wise, I think is quite basic for Tetra. They're quite thin packaging, and they're always quite loose in the box, whereas some of the other brands that I've dealt with in the past, you know, are quite nice packaging, thick cardboard boxes and stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's not a great product, I'll be honest. I think I've experienced better for what I want. That's not to say that it wouldn't work well for somebody else. I know it's not the most important thing in the world, but when you have a CO2 kit or some sort of system, you get a diffuser, and with the diffuser normally you like to see all the little tiny bubbles like appearing and stuff. It's part of the fun of having a CO2 kit, is seeing all those cool bubbles, I find anyway, and you know, seeing the bubbles floating around the aquarium. But you just don't get that with this kit. Maybe it's, I'm pretty much almost 100% convinced that I've got it set up correctly, so I don't think it's a problem with that. I mean, it's just the way that this system particularly works. The only other thing that I really didn't like was that after you press the button, after a while it looks like water does seep back through, and you obviously don't get one of those connectors you put on your air pipes normally to stop the water from going back into, say, a water pump. So yeah, I mean, the water's all just sort of sitting in the tube, and it's made the tube go a bit green and stuff like that, so it's not visually pleasing, although it is behind the tank, so I guess it's personal perspective really on that one. Yeah, so that's it overall. Not very impressed, I must admit. I think there's better kits out there, so if you want to have a look at them, check them out. I mean, it's entirely personal perspective on this. If you want to have a try of it, go for it and let me know if you've had a better experience. From the reviews that I've seen on, say, Amazon, for example, a lot of people are saying they're good, but I never trust Amazon reviews because a lot of them could be paid, so you just don't know what you're getting. But from my personal perspective, yeah, it's not worked out very well for me. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think of the kit in the comments below. Have you experienced one, or have you got any recommendations, especially the DIY ones? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know, and maybe I should check them ones out in the future. And until next time, you stay safe.